Sometimes the world looks like you ain't ever seen it before. Stuck behind never-ending windows, all you need is a door. Searching for something to put a smile back on your face. Just remember, in unusual times, it can come from an unusual place. You need a partner for the ride, 'cause everybody needs a Clyde. So set your worries to the side. Just ask, say the word and I'll be there. Just ask, you know the greatest things in life all come in a pair. They say hindsight's 20/20, but that ain't far enough behind me. So if you want the sweetest honey, I think hindsight's 1990. There's no need to pretend I got a hand I can lend, 'cause when you really need a friend, just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sara Fergenson. Sara, how are you?
Jess, you know what? I just got my career aptitude results back, and it says I'm not supposed to be a podcaster. So I'm going to let you do the entire podcast on your own, because I'm just trying to follow what my career aptitude test says. And
I will say my aptitude test did have news anchor on there, which there are similarities.
Sure. You know, we took two. We took the same one. I took two. But one of the ones I took was, and we got the same exact thing. And I don't know about you. Like, I definitely feel like there's times where you and I like have done similar things, could do similar things, but like I definitely don't envision us being like a 1-to-1. So I kind of just feel like that test is a little
faulty,
a little bullshit.
I think
that even the percentages were similar.
Yeah.
So I think that was 1, 2, 3 test is somehow not a reputable career aptitude test.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're both in artistic fields, I suppose.
Yeah, I took the Princeton Review one. Do you want to try that one?
Yeah,
we could take it on air.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Question number 1. I would rather be a wildlife expert, or I would rather be a public relations professional.
Wildlife expert.
Okay. I would rather be a company controller, or I would rather be TV news anchor.
What the hell's a company controller?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, give me the TV one. I'd rather be on TV.
I would rather be a tax lawyer, or I'd rather be a newspaper editor.
Newspaper editor, 1000%. Yeah.
Auditor or musician.
Musician.
Okay. Production manager or advertising manager.
Production manager.
Accounting manager or history professor.
Oh God, neither. Accounting. I'm really bad at history, but I'd rather teach, but I'll just go accounting.
Bookkeeper or electrician.
Oh God, bookkeeper, I guess.
Writer or an elected official.
Writer.
Okay. Clerical worker or carpenter.
Clerical worker.
You don't want to be a carpenter? You don't want to take after your father's legacy?
I really don't. I'm sorry, Dad. I can't. He knows how bad I am at measuring.
Oh God. You got to measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Payroll manager or manager of engineering.
Payroll manager.
Audit manager or safety manager.
I guess safety manager. I really like safety, so we'll do that. Like to be safe.
Artist or salesperson.
Artist.
Okay. Don't worry, we're going. Okay, here we go. Here's different types of questions. I'm usually patient when I have to wait on an appointment, or I get restless when I have to wait on an appointment.
Yeah, second, I get restless.
Okay. It is easy to laugh at one's little social errors or faux pas. It is hard to laugh at one's little social errors or faux pas.
I think I can laugh at myself. I'll go with the first one.
It is wise to make it known if someone is doing something that bothers you. It's wise to remain silent when somebody is doing something that bothers you.
I think speak up. I think, yeah, the first one.
It's really not okay to argue with others, even when you know it's right. Or it's okay to argue with others when you know you are right.
Yeah, B, of course. Duh.
Stupid idiot. I took A. I like to bargain to get a good price. I don't like to have to bargain to get a good price.
No, I don't like to bargain. I like finding bargains. I don't want to have to like interact with people to bargain.
Yeah. It's easy to be outgoing and sociable at a party with strangers. It's hard to be outgoing and sociable at a party with strangers.
It's pretty easy. I'll just do one.
I would read the instructions first when putting a new toy together for a child. I would just jump in and start putting together.
Okay. My dad is always the jumper inner, and it's like, read the freaking instructions. It's why they give you the booklet.
It is easy. No, it is usually best to be pleasant and let others decide if your ideas are worth accepting. It's usually best to be forceful and sell your ideas to others. Be honest,
I don't know that it's best, but I force my ideas on others.
That's what I was
don't know that it's the best thing.
Thank you for being honest. I usually like to work cautiously. I usually like to work fast.
Oh, definitely be fast worker. Yeah.
Generally, I prefer to work quietly with a minimum of wasted movement. Generally, I like to move around and burns my energy while I work.
No, I sit while I work. Yeah, I'm number one.
I don't have to persuade others to accept my ideas when there's a strong, forceful opposition or argument from others. I like to sell and promote my ideas with others, even if it takes some argument.
Yeah, I'll go with B, even though I do get like worn down pretty easily from like arguing with others. I will go with that one.
I think this is the last question. It is better to listen carefully and be sure you understand when topics are being discussed. It's better to speak up quickly and be heard when topics are being discussed.
I mean, again, I know what I do. I do the second one. Is that the right thing? Probably not, but like, no, that's what I do.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you for being honest. Okay, your style is so there's 4 colors in this Princeton review.
Okay.
There is red, which is expediting, green, which is communicating, blue, which is planning, and yellow, which is administrating. You got yellow, and your subcolor is red. So you are good at administrating, and then you are also good with expediting. Now, you might be saying, hey, Sarah, what does that mean for my jobs? And I will tell you, your recommended career options are the following. Accountant/auditor, actuary, astronomer, bookkeeper, court reporter, dental lab technician, economist, financial aid officer, financial analyst, foreign exchange trader, healthcare administrator, office manager, sommelier. Okay. Surveyor. That's what it says. Corporate lawyer, business evaluator, financial planner, internet technology manager, geneticist, hospital administrator, quality assurance engineer, research technician, small business owner, systems administrator, systems analyst, venture capitalist, investor, auditor, consultant, food service manager. I got blue. And the blue.
Oh, well, at least we got different answers this time.
Exactly. Blue, which is planning, is like a lot of those like artsy fartsy majors or not majors. Sorry. Like I got, I don't know if I still have access to it, but like mine were like, a designer, writer, like
at least that fits
shit
you.
like that.
I think the problem with these tests is always like, I excel at like things that require organization and like taking charge and leadership positions. Doesn't mean I always like enjoy those things. Like I find it very difficult to feel creatively fulfilled by those specific things. So I don't know, whatever, at least we didn't get cop.
We did not. Neither of us did get cop. I'm going to see. And that was the Princeton Review Career Aptitude Test, which I think is better than the other one that
definitely better than the other one.
We had taken. The other, this one was a little fucked.
Yeah.
But don't you worry. Yeah.
But
So
did you? Yeah. So So yeah, I hope everyone stuck around for that aptitude test because I feel like we really buried the lead on this episode, season 2,
Okay.
episode 9.
It's fine because they had to know what your aptitude was.
Obviously, that's how we start the episode of Buffy. That's how we have to start the podcast.
Yeah.
We're just covering part 1 of What's My Line. So we don't know what happens in part 2. We're going to find out next week. It was impressed upon us that we should watch these separately and do 2 separate podcasts. So that's what we did. And we're going to chat about them today. Like I said, this episode starts with the aptitude test. And it turns out that Xander is going to be like a corrections officer. Buffy is supposed to be a cop. Cordelia is what is she supposed to be? A speaker, like a I forget what the heck the name of it is. And Willow is going to be in some kind of weird secret society, FBI or CSI. What is it, CIA or something?
I mean, we didn't really get a lot of insight into like what the frick was going on with Willow and Oz and like what was happening there. By this,
and maybe it's because it's a part 2 that like we'll go back to them. But I'm like, we've been waiting, I feel like forever for Oz and Willow to like finally have like interaction together. And they really teased us this episode.
Yeah, I mean, they did. But once again, I think that I don't know if this was one of those things where you did have to wait an entire week or if they played parts 1 or 2 in the same night and it was a super special Buffy night. You know, that 90s shows love to do that at times. But yeah, like I definitely think that it was hard to not just click, especially since we have access to the next episode, to not continue. This is one of those times where I'm probably going to be watching this tonight from my depression hole. So really looking forward.
Well, you know what? You and Buffy have something in common because she is also in a depression hole. Because even though she's taking this aptitude test, she's like, but it really doesn't matter because my destiny, my fate is already sealed. I'm the Slayer. I will always be the Slayer. But the thing is, Sarah, the thing that is fucked up about this entire situation is she's not getting paid, which is bullshit because let's face it, she's out late like every single night. She don't die at her job. There is a huge risk to her health. She should be getting like, there should be some sort of like grant or like some sort of something to give her money for this.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying, and maybe now that we know that there's another Slayer, at least one, I'm sure there's plenty. I mean, I have my theories upon like what that looks like, but I think that they just need to form a union. Everything needs to be unionized, you know?
Seriously,
When I was 16 years old and worked at Stop and Shop, I got the letter in the mail from the Stop and Shop union and I signed up.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what, Sarah, I have my tinfoil hat theory here. They pick teen women, teen girls to be the Slayer because they're like, no one's going to stick up for them. No one's going to try to get them to, they're not going to stand up for themselves to get paid. So we could just take advantage of this situation. It's like that, right? Doesn't it seem correct? Like we're now seeing 2 teen girls have been, you know, we'll see later this episode. There are 2 teen girls who are Slayers and neither one of them's getting paid. And yet that requires training, constant vigilance. Like there's a lot going on here and it's really upsetting. They're not getting paid.
I mean, it definitely is upsetting. Were you ever a unpaid intern?
No, I never did any internships. Thank God.
Yeah, I was an unpaid intern.
It's bullshit. That shouldn't exist.
Well, I know that, but they were also like, oh, it's so prestigious to work an unpaid internship. Like it's going to show like firms so many, like they're all gonna think that you're a hard worker, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's how they sold it. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think that they should unionize. I think that they should get benefits. I think they should get good dental, definitely good vision, because I mean you have to see, you know, especially if you're gonna attack these people.
Exactly. Yes,
I think that they should get like benefits, like
worker comp, disability. You know,
every 2 weeks they should get like a Bonus Jonas massage.
Are they getting compensated for all the stakes and crosses and holy water they have to buy?
I think that they get a stipend for that.
They should.
Yeah. Because
also like meals, like if I'm out late, I might get a little hungry, you know, need a snack while I'm slaying.
I'm assuming that they get none of this. Maybe, just maybe. I mean, first steak free. It's kind of like how the Hooters girls, the first uniform they get and the first pair of tights is included, but every tights that they have to buy after that, they have to go to the tight vending machine and buy new tights. Yeah, I know.
You're gonna get a run in your tights like every 2 seconds.
But you have to buy them every time.
That's BS.
Yeah, and if you need to get extra shirts that barely cover your tits, then you have to buy a new shirt. Fuck. But the first one's free. It's kind of like that, you know?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's taking these aptitude tests. Buffy's all depressed about it. There's a question about shrubs, which was pretty hilarious.
Are you pro shrub?
I'm not a big shrub. I mean, like, what is classified as a shrub?
It's like a bush. Like a small bush.
I could be pro bush. I'm just not. I don't like the ones that are just that there's like no flowers. They're just like green and prickly and kind of boxy. I'm not into those.
Yeah. Are you like, do you like your bushes like bare, or do you like a full bush? Like, that's very...
You can't even ask that without smirking. Like, I know this is an audio medium, but like, you have to know that anytime Sarah is doing something that she's like specifically trying to troll, she makes a face that is so obvious that is what is happening. For the record, I have some incredible burning bushes and they're really beautiful. Mostly in the fall.
You should get that checked out.
Yeah. And your bushes shouldn't burn. See a doctor.
Oh God.
They're very full. Anyway, I trimmed them this year.
Didn't you have to get one removed a year or so ago?
A bush removed? I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought that like you had a problem with one of them.
I had a problem with my dogwood tree because my neighbor's freaking tree fell on it and I was not pleased. It's my beautiful angel and it's broken and sad now. Anyway, moving on. So they're all talking about this aptitude test, and then we go over to Spike and Drew and their little warehouse situation.
Okay, hold up. I have so much to say about this because Spike is kind of being a bad boyfriend. Sometimes the girlies just want to whine and cry and make little whiny cry sounds. I am girly, and I don't like it when my boyfriend tells me that I can't be whining. I want to whine.
I think what I'm finding more important about this is that it seems like Drusilla is the one who always has all the answers and they're really not utilizing her enough. You know what I mean?
They don't
like
listen
she's
to her.
Secretly the smartest one in the room. And I think the problem is that she's whining. And so they can't get past the like whiny noises to hear the wisdom.
But maybe they listened to her in the first place. She wouldn't have to be whining.
Yeah. Well, obviously, so
I hate these men.
I mean, the
not
men
all
are
men,
problematic.
Just the fact that they're not listening to Drusilla when she whines. Also, she has her very important cards out, and they're not listening to her about those either.
We're going to talk about the tarot cards because I was like, oh my God, I was obsessed with that section. But so going off of the ancient textbook that they stole from, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, from that Giles had, they have stolen this textbook and they're trying to translate it. And this was like Deloc, I think is his name. He was the one who had this book. He wrote the book. And they're trying to translate it because it turns out that whatever is written in here could be the key to saving Drusilla from whatever this weird illness is that she has that they keep talking about. But their translator, Dalton, is not good. His translation is debase the beef canoe, which sounds sexual and not correct.
Yeah, he's a level 1 on Duolingo. It's not working well because he says it's like Latin, but it's not quite. And we learned that it's like some like ancient form of Latin that like only a specific sector of people would be able to read it, like if you are worthy to read such things. But I mean, if I was Spike, I would just kill him on the spot for wasting my time. And Drew is in the back. She's kind of whining. Spike snaps at her again. And then she goes like,
oh, I feel faint.
I mean, she should. There's shit going down and she has to change her doll's clothes and nobody cares. And
No.
it's a hard life being Drusilla.
Yeah, she has to curl that one little piece of hair ever so perfectly into
She
a
has
nice little
to
ringlet.
paint her freaking black and white
I
nails.
like her nails.
No, it's kind of ugly.
So she goes back to her tarot cards. He's trying to get Dalton to like figure this out because again, it's like it's some kind of weird old Latin sort of thing. And Drusilla says like, "Oh, we need the key because it's basically in code. So they're going to need to get the key." And Drusilla says, "This is where the key is." And it's a mausoleum on the tarot card. There's a mausoleum and that's where the key is. And Spike's like, "No worries. I'll send my boys out. They'll take care of it."
I gotta say, like, Drew should just, I know she's weak, but she should just figure it out herself. Like, she's the only one that's going to be able to figure it out.
This is where I think their partnership is really fascinating because Drew is very obviously like the brains of the operation, or not even just not the brains, like the intuition. It's like she holds all the answers in some way, shape, or form, but she's like a little too physically weak to actually put plans into action. So that is where Spike comes in. He's like the action plan man, you know? He has his army and he's ready to like send them out to do her bidding.
Yeah, I just need him to stop yelling at her. I did not enjoy him yelling at her.
Yeah. I mean, she was being a little whiny, but I agree. She's also a little like, I don't know if this is her illness that's doing this or she's just a little bit of a wackadoo, but she's like, "I need you, Miss Edith." And it's like, what is happening with her? She all right?
She needs to change Miss Edith, her doll's clothing. It is so improper to have your dolls in one outfit when they're supposed to be in another. I mean, I understand. Maybe I understand Drew. She's batshit insane. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know who we can who we can blame for that? Angel. It's all his fault. But then they get to like, you know, dance around and they said that they're going to go fuck on the Slayer's grave, and then they're
so excited to do that. Yeah, they're like it'd be they're never going to kill Buffy, obviously, but it'd be interesting to see if they did, because I just feel like they'd have a field day doing really weird sexual things with like her blood.
Yeah, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do some tap dancing. Like the world is really their oyster. But we see Buffy at, I think, the mausoleum. She's
in the graveyard.
Yeah, she's doing her prowling in the middle of the night in my dreams, and then she witnesses that Dalton, the Duolingo failure, trying to smash up Duloch's grave. We find out it's Duloch later, and Buffy waits for him to come out, and she's like, "Hey, don't you people have anything better to do?" And she's like, "Oh wait, you're not people." I don't
know why she didn't just go right in. She waited for him. It was like, you know.
Yeah. Well, because she has to have her sassiness, her sassy saying.
She loves to be sassy and then start kicking ass.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to be sassy first. And somebody comes up behind her. She kills him. But then when she turns around to look for Dalton, Dalton's gone. So she did not really do her job. Well, she did. Yeah.
No, I mean, she got one of the two, right? 50%, but Giles is not going to be very pleased with this later.
Well, no,
meanwhile,
she should have focused on the guy that actually had the knowledge.
Had something, yeah. Meanwhile, Angel is being a little bit creepy and is just hanging out in Buffy's room, waiting for her to get home, playing with Mr. Gordo, her stuffed pig. So Angel, that's like, I don't know. It's a little strange, but you know, whatever.
He is doing the check. He's doing what I would do and is prowling and looking for things to spy on. He found the pig and that's okay.
Yeah. And I don't understand, like, does it weird you out that it feels like Angel is kind of just always there when there's danger? He's like always ready and always like right around the corner whenever someone's in trouble. There's Angel. It's like, does he have like a secret beeper that like beeps and he notifies him when someone's in trouble? And he like, how does he always know?
Well, it's one of two things. Either he has a secret beeper and it goes do 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 do. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, Kim Possible.
Yeah, so that's one. Or it's like the bat signal, and he looks up into the sky. He's like, "Oh no,
I'm just saying, like, he's always right around the corner and he says he has a bad feeling. It's like, well, Angel, you literally, like, that's all you ever say. It's how you have bad feelings. And I know, like, Buffy gives him a little bit of sass about it. And I feel like she was justified because he never comes with good news. It's always bad news.
Yeah. Like my old boss told me, come to me with solutions, not with problems.
There you go. And he doesn't even know why. He's just like, oh, it's just in my gut. Like, that's not good enough, Angel. Honestly, it's not good enough. Come with information.
Being rude. So Buffy says that she's in a bad mood because it is career week and she knows that her entire life is doomed and she just has to be a Slayer and this is bumming her out. This is very Buffy movie, right? Because I remember that Buffy in the movie and Murdoch, no, that's not his name. What is his name? Merrick had the same discussion how like if she didn't have to be the Slayer, she wanted to be a shopper so that she can shop a professional shopper, a buyer. She wanted to be a buyer. And Merrick was like, well, I always wanted to be a bootmaker. And then Giles didn't really have much to add about that later. But basically, so she's like weeping about that. And I feel as though Angel is doing a good job listening.
Yeah, the only thing I found odd was he knows it's career week at school, and when she asks how he knows, he says he lurks, and I'm like, how you lurking in the daylight, Angel? Wait, how you lurking
on a rainy day? Maybe
this isn't Twilight. I still don't think he could go out on a rainy day. Like, I don't know. It's just a little weird. But yeah, this is a very common, I feel like we've heard this from Buffy time and time again, like I understand this is a very difficult situation for her, but it's very, woe is me, I'm the Slayer, this is my entire life, I can't, it was chosen for me, which sucks. It really sucks. And she didn't, and like on and again, we hear like, I didn't choose this life, it was chosen for me, and I don't necessarily want to do it, but I know I have to. And I thought it was really interesting, Sarah, for them to incorporate this like skating thing, because skating for her was very much like something she loves to do. It was an outlet for her in a time where her parents were like going through their divorce and everything. She wanted to be just like Dorothy Hamill, and she really wanted to skate. And I agree with you that I thought Angel did a great job when he says, listen, I know a rink that's like down the road and it's closed on Tuesdays, so like why don't we go? I thought that was a great idea.
So romantic. I can totally see Angel also being like a male figure skater. Holding her up into the sky. It's so romantic.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I totally missed this part in my first viewing. And later on, I was like, why is freaking Buffy skating? I guess she's just skating today.
She loves skating. And Sarah Michelle Gellar was the one actually skating, which we love.
Do you love watching the Olympics for the figure skating? Because
no, I never watched the Olympics. I know it's very un-American of me, but I never watched them. I just don't. I'm not sports at all. I'm not into any sports.
Figure skating is basically dancing. It's gorgeous. Not gymnastics. You don't watch gymnastics?
Don't watch any of it. You know what I catch? Like the highlights on TikTok. That's what I catch. I don't watch any of it.
Simone Biles is like making big moves. She's,
you know what? I did see a TikTok about her today. And you know what the TikTok was? I really liked this. It was like a split cam and it showed her family in one half, like their reaction to her doing her routine and then her doing her routine. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Her family is like so proud.
Wow. Cordelia gets the results back. And you're right. She is a personal shopper or motivational speaker. And I kind of feel like that is two good careers for her. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think like, because you mentioned in the Buffy movie she wanted to be like a buyer. I feel like they were pulling that a little bit, because we said like, oh, she's kind of like Cordelia in the movie. Yeah, totally. I agree with her. I think those are probably good options for her.
Yeah. It's interesting that we talked about this a lot in, I don't remember, I think like Boy Meets World, how like we find it so strange when like the grades are on the board.
Yeah, because, I hate that.
Yeah, even though this is not grades, but like the jobs are all like on the board and you have to go look by your last name, which I just find, or first name, I'm not quite sure. I just find that interesting that like they didn't get like individual sheets. They're just like printed out. And I think that they get assigned to an adult that is in that field that they can like shadow, which is,
Right.
you know, they were making fun of the principal, but this is actually really cool. Like, I feel like I would really love to do this in high school.
I agree with the exception that I think you should be able to like go up to a booth of something you're interested in versus you're assigned something based off an aptitude test you took.
Yeah, but then like what happens if like everybody wants to like work for the fashion designer or something like that?
Then that's just what it is, I think.
I don't know. As you stated earlier, Xander got a correctional officer or something along
prison guard is the same thing.
Prison guard, which is interesting because like, yeah, Buffy got a cop, which is basically just like the same thing, which I don't really.
Well, she's like a vigilante right now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, no, I meant like correctional or yeah, it's the same career. I don't see it for Xander except for the fact that we know that like he was really into being like an army guy during the Halloween episode. But I can kind of see how Buffy could have gotten that, maybe because she's like a protector essentially,
I suppose. But I feel like that's what she has to do, not necessarily what she wants to do.
This begs the question of when I was taking this test, it was hard for me to not like answer the questions as though like, because I have a career, I've had a career for, I don't know, almost 15 years. I don't want to think about it if that's true. When did I graduate college? 2012. 12 years. It's been 12 years. I've been in my career for 12 years. And like it was hard for me not to answer those questions as if I was a designer or whatever. So maybe like that's what she was doing.
That's fair. Yeah, it could be.
Willow is weird because her results, I mean, please don't take that audio clip.
It's just funny.
Because she did not get her results. It just didn't show up.
I feel like they should have at least put like Willow, C principal, or like something. They didn't even put her on the board, and she's like, what the hell? Like, I did it with a number 2 pencil. Like, what's going on? And I was like, okay. I was thinking at this point, I'm like, okay, she's gonna get indoctrinated into the Watcher Society.
That would be so interesting.
Mm-hmm. But you think Giles would have been involved in that, you know?
I don't think it's a Giles thing. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's that. I think it's some weird government thing. Like, I'm thinking back to, what was the episode about the invisible girl? Or the invisible boy, the invisible person, and then like we find out like the government knows about these invisible people.
Yes, I agree with you. I was thinking, so I said like FBI, CIA, but like I think it's like a made up version of them that are kind of like the people that the humans that know about the vampires that are involved in government. And like maybe that's what she's being recruited for.
Interesting. Yeah, like Men in Black type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's depressing that Willow does not know what's going on.
And we don't know what's going on because we don't even get an answer by the end of this freaking episode. But I mean, at least we get 2
hours when we watch it.
I was just gonna say, at least we get to like postulate on what we think it is. Like I do think it's some sort of like secret government agency.
Mm-hmm. In the background, you can see Giles has about like a stack of 30 books that he's just balancing. And her, Buffy and Giles is talking out about what is happening with like the missing book and the person that like broke into the mausoleum. And I think that this is when they were saying like, oh, we got to go to the mausoleum and figure out like what's going down there.
Right. Basically, because he's been combing through all the prior Watchers' diaries to try to get a little bit more information, especially because that one big book went missing. He's like trying to figure out what they're planning. And he seems really stressed and pressed. Like he is working overtime to figure out a solution. And he's getting really impatient with Buffy because she is resentful of like having to do all of this. And when she says she only got one of the 2 guys, he's like really hard on her. And she's like, listen, why are you having a cow? Like, I just figured he was up to his usual vampire antics. How am I supposed to know that there was anything special about him? And yeah, so they're like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to check out this museum, and excuse me, mausoleum, and
it's a museum of dead people, so basically it's the
is.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's wondering what it is that they stole. And then we are back with Drusilla and Spike. And it's the gaudiest, ugliest gold cross I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing is huge. It is like on a red velvet pillow, like a fancy cat.
Wait, what do you, a gold what?
A cross. It's a cross.
Why would they be hanging out with crosses? They can't hang out with crosses. That hurts them.
Well, that's why it's on the velvet pillow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically like Drusilla has some sort of, I don't even know, ability. She says it's humming, that she can hear it. And they're really, really excited because this is going to be the key to basically translate the book that they have.
Okay.
And but in order to, this is gonna in the book is the cure to help Drusilla with whatever mystery illness she has. However, in order to do that, they need to get Buffy off their back. They're like, it's really I'm trying to think of, like, is it a cartoon? It's almost like Wile E. Coyote, right? Where like every single time Wile E. Coyote ends up like going off a cliff because of Roadrunner, and every single time he's like, "Ugh, those darn kids." You know what I mean? Like, it's giving the "ugh, those darn kids" energy, because every time Spike tries to do something cool, there's Buffy ruining it. And so he's like, we got to take care of her once and for all.
Yeah, like big, like I would have gone away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Very Scooby-Doo. The Scoobies. Yeah. Very much that. And so in order to do that, they're going to hire the Order of Taraka. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I don't remember. They're basically bounty hunters. And this is where the tarot cards get really interesting, I think, because Drusilla deals out 3 different tarot cards. One of them is a cyclops, one of them is a centipede, and the other one is a panther. Now, it's really easy to like match them up because we're going to meet all 3 bounty hunters this episode, right? So you have Cyclops is obviously the guy who's like blind in one eye. Centipede is obviously the man that's like made out of mealworms or whatever the hell.
Oh, the Maggot Man.
Maggot Man. Maggot Man. What a crappy superhero.
Yeah.
And then Kendra, who we find out is a Slayer, is obviously the Panther, which I'm very intrigued by. Like, why is she a Panther? You know?
Do you think so?
I mean, it feels like it goes 1-to-1. Like,
I don't think that she's part of the Order. I don't know. Like, I kind of feel
third.
Maybe we didn't meet them yet, because the thing is that, like, if she, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but if she's a Slayer, like, she's there to help. Like, she's not there to, like, hurt.
Unless she's a bad Slayer.
No, she's not. She's like not a bad Slayer. No, because she was going after Angel because he's a vampire, and she's going after Buffy because she thinks that Buffy is like either a vampire too or somebody who helps vampires.
So then in that case, then we wouldn't have met the third one based on what you're saying.
The tarot cards were saying like, look out for this person that is the Panther. I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, because Drusilla like says like, oh, they're all coming to my party. 3 of them.
Like, I think it's telling her that 3 people are coming, but they're misinterpreting the cards to be like 3 people are helping us. When in reality, it could be like 2 people are here, like 3 people are coming, 3 people came, but one of them is somebody that's going to essentially help defeat them.
So you're saying that still Kendra is the Panther? She's just not part of the Order of Taraka?
I think so. I think that's
okay.
Possible,
that I would agree. That I would agree with. Yeah.
I think that Kendra probably got like a tip off from who, I don't fucking know, because they don't want to explain it to us.
If there are more Slayers, there have to be more Watchers. So like maybe Giles was like, let me go on, like get our little group chat going and find out from the other Watchers what the tea is.
Yeah. So like she's here to help diffuse the situation because she probably knows that over in Sunnydale, there's like a huge issue happening. It is running rampant and there's things brewing, and this Duloc book is missing and they're doing this key and yada, yada, yada. But she saw Buffy hang out with Angel. She doesn't know that Angel is a vampire with a soul and that helps everybody. So she assumes that Buffy is evil as well as Angel. So she's definitely a good person that's going against Drusilla.
Oh yeah, that I could see. It was more that like I think she's the Panther, and I'm just interested in like what that symbology like means. Like, why is it like? Let me look at it. What does a Panther?
I think it's like stealthy, somebody that like comes in the shadows and attacks. Like
the Black Panther. This wasn't a Black Panther though, was it?
Was it not a tiger? And you're just like, it's a panther.
Okay, I'm not like up to date on my like cat knowledge, but it definitely wasn't a tiger.
Okay, hold on.
It looks kind of like,
oh, that's a cheetah.
Oh, a cheetah. Okay.
Yeah, it's either a cheetah or it's a jaguar. It has spots.
Oh, jaguar. That's the thing I was thinking of.
Panthers are black.
I think it's a jaguar. I'm gonna search that. Okay. In many traditions,
okay, but hold on. Which one is from like the tropics and not like the tropics / jungle and not like the Sahara? Because
she's from Jamaica. I don't know. I'm just going to pull up what a jaguar represents and we'll see. Mm-hmm. In many traditions, the jaguar is revered as a sacred creature, often associated with divine power and protection.
Boom!
Wow. It becomes a symbol of the prowess and authority, representing not just physical strength, but also spiritual prowess. I think this is spot on. I think you're very smart in that, yes, she is the jaguar or cheetah. However, she is not a member of the order of the Taraka, which is there to hurt Buffy, not help her, which the order of the Taraka we'll have to talk about too, because they like, what is happening with them? It's like some kind of cult society. And so moving on from that, it's like career day, and yet again, Buffy is not there, and Principal Snyder, it just like at this point wants to put like a GPS tracking device on her because he's so obsessed with her. And I have not forgotten. I still have my eye on you, Principal Snyder. I know you're up to something, and maybe he's in with the Order of Taraka, or he's secretly in with the Vamps. I don't know. He's up to something.
Yeah.
What if he is a member of this like thing that Willow's getting pulled into?
That I can see.
Yeah.
That I can see. I think that we talked about like he's definitely part of like maybe like some government agency. Like he's definitely not an educator. That's for sure.
He hates kids.
He hates kids, and I haven't seen him like think of anything, but I could see him basically put on this like show of Career Week to see who is the most capable person to go into his agency, whatever that is. Like I think that is definitely could be connected. So we'll see. He is asking Willow and Xander where Buffy is, and they do this thing like, oh, she's right over here somewhere, she was just here. He's like, nah,
yeah,
I
know
do
that
not
trick.
believe you. I know that is the oldest trick in the book. You can't do that anymore. And basically he is very suspicious. Very
he's
suspicious.
trying to find her. Xander is off to go like learn about being a corrections officer, and Willow gets pulled into like this curtained off area, and she gets told like, oh, you've been selected to meet with Mr. McCarthy, head recruiter for the world's leading software concern. Maybe this has to do with like we're jacked in. No, nobody's jacked in, Jessica. You gotta let it go. It's not happening. They do get offered canapes though. Canapes, yeah. And he says like, oh no, we're really, really selective. There's only one other Sunnydale student that meets our criteria, and we see Oz.
I knew it.
Did you?
I did. Yeah. I mean, when they were like, oh, one other, I was like, oh, Oz. And then like they turned the camera and it was Oz, and he has his own shrimp. Do you like shrimp cocktail? Because there are people that love shrimp cocktail.
I do. I think that if you're getting a cheap one, it mostly just tastes like water. You really want to get like, if you're gonna get a cocktail, like a cocktail shrimp, you kind of want to get the nicer set. You know,
I have zero interest. Okay, so we're at a party. Are you ready? We're at a party. I'm hosting a party.
Where are we playing the game of anywhere but here again?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I'm hosting a party. I am so good when I have a party because I have all these things. On my coffee table, I have the following. I have like a charcuterie board with like the charcuterie board. There's cheese, there's like meats, there's whatever, I don't know, olives, bit of nuts, whatever. Then there's like a veggie set with some dip. Then there's like chips and salsa. Then there's regular chips with a dip. We got some hummus and pita. And then we have like cheese and crackers. Like, where are you going?
I'm definitely getting some cheese and crackers. Well, okay. If it's fresh cheese and crackers, yes. If it's been like sitting out for a while, I'm not.
Bitch,
you know what I mean?
I am a good party host.
So then,
how dare you?
And are these past hors d'oeuvres?
No, I just said it's like a house party. They're on my coffee table.
So I'm eating cheese and crackers for sure. I will always attack a charcuterie board. Love a charcutes. And then I definitely would get some shrimp cocktail. The downside to shrimp cocktail is you have the tails, which I hate when like whatever I'm eating, like I have like a leftover bit of like a toothpick or a shrimp tail. Like, what am I going to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little awkward to carry around. But I do love a shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. So like for me, I don't really like cheese. You know this. I'm like, don't really like charcuterie meats.
Yeah.
I really don't like olives.
What are you even eating then?
At my party?
Yeah.
I'm eating
the
my
hummus.
My cherry tomatoes.
Oh my God.
The broccoli. I love chips and salsa.
Yeah.
But I'm
really not picky when it comes to like an appetizer sort of assortment. Like I mostly will eat any of that stuff.
Yeah. I guess my point is that I'm not that impressed by like little appies in the beginning.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah,
love an app.
I really am not like a cheese fan, and I don't really like the meats. Okay. Anyway, Buffy is kind of having a tantrum, which I love.
Yeah.
I love for her.
Yeah, and she's like stomping through this graveyard with Giles, basically making him get all out of breath. And she's basically complaining that like why like this sucks. Like again, she's like, I have to get a job and be the Slayer, and my life is so difficult, and it's only going to get harder, and blah 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 blah. So they get to the mausoleum, and Giles starts explaining that Deloc was buried there. And he was part of a religious sect that was excommunicated by the Vatican at the turn of the century. And it's like, whoa, okay, so big sinner, big sinner. And the book is the book that was stolen from them a few episodes ago was written by him, and it contained rituals and spells that reap unspeakable evil. But it was written in archaic Latin so that no one but the members of this group could read it. So they need the translator. And the translator is the cross that was stolen. And it's like the only one of its kind because the rest of them were destroyed beyond the one that he was buried with. Are you impressed by my lore knowledge?
Yeah, it's just boring.
What do you want me to do about it? Like, this is the truth. This is the information that we have.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
But then basically the gist of it is that Giles is now really scared because not only do they have the book, but they have the translator. So they can now figure out whatever it is they're trying to figure out from this book very easily. And Giles is like, that is no bueno, the fact that they have both of these things.
May I just say that maybe this is why we don't leave the sex cage with all the books just wide open?
Yeah, I really feel like they should have had them under lock and key.
Yeah, lock them up.
Here.
If you're not in it, then you lock it. Even if you just get out a book from it, you lock it up. Yeah. I'm not saying it's Giles' fault. I'm just saying that maybe he needs to go back to like Watcher boot camp and learn the basics. You know,
it does feel like it did happen on his watch. Yeah,
it was a little bit of a fuck up.
I mean, it was also Buffy trusted that other guy who didn't kill the vampire, and it was that vampire.
That was a big fuck up. Okay, so Cyclops gets off the bus into Sunnydale, and then Maggot Man, who is very interesting because he carries around this like suitcase. And he's like,
it's hilarious.
He's like, hi, I'm the Avon lady. I'm here to not sell you anything. I'm here to give you free samples. And he goes past the Summers house to like the next door neighbor and is like, may I give you free samples? And I if it was me, I'd be like, sir, what do you know about makeup?
Well, fair, very fair. Like, I feel like nowadays this shtick would never work. No one answers the door for door-to-door salesmen anymore. And yeah, I don't understand why maybe it's because he's like targeting women, that he's like, I'm gonna sell makeup.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there was old jokes about like vacuum cleaner salesmen. Like, I feel like even that is a little bit more realistic. But yeah, he's not even selling blush. He just is offering free samples. And this woman is just like, free? Sure, come on in.
Well, I mean, who would turn down some samples?
Certainly not Cordelia.
No. And then we get number 3, and I think you're right. Like, I think that we're supposed to think that this is the third person of this order of mayhem. And she comes in on a plane. And basically she takes down some like innocent guy, which is a little suspicious. Like,
well, again,
I guess,
yeah, because she attacks him, but like we don't necessarily like see him die. And like, and I think this is our first clue that she could possibly be a Slayer, because again, a young woman, badass martial arts skills, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, kind of ticks the boxes.
Now this is very exciting because this is Nikki Green, the great Nikki Green.
Yes.
And the thing is that like, this is not the first time you and I have spoken about Nikki Green. Now, number 1, I think that where I know her best is Pretty Little Liars, and she played Maya. And so that's number 1. And then where else did we talk about Nikki Green? Because
Dawson's Creek.
Oh, duh. She was the principal's daughter in Dawson's
we were really,
Creek.
really upset because for those who didn't listen to our Dawson's Creek coverage, totally understandable if you were not into that sort of thing. She was like the principal's daughter. She came in late, like, you know, a couple seasons in, whatever. She was like, had filmmaking in common with Dawson.
Wait,
like, we thought they were going to have.
Is her name Nikki Green, or am I like having
the actor's name?
Yes.
Is that maybe the character's name?
No, her name is Kendra.
No, her name is Nikki Green.
Is it N-I-C?
No, it's Nikki. She's portrayed by Bianca Lawson. That is the name of the actor.
Oh, wait. Oh, Nikki Green's the character name in Dawson's Creek. Fucking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I thought you knew you were saying her.
No,
name.
I don't know shit. I think it's because our amazing, beautiful, stunning friend Linda sent in an email that I saw, and I don't know why, but I kept like thinking that was her name.
Yeah. So she played Nikki. So this is Bianca Lawson, who played Nikki Green in Dawson's Creek. And she was also like a fellow filmmaker like Dawson. We thought there was going to be like a romance storyline with her. And then like very suddenly they wrote her and her dad out of the show. And we were really upset because obviously like Dawson's Creek, a very whitewashed cast, like not a ton of diversity. We were really excited. We thought her character was intriguing. And then all of a sudden she's gone. And we were like, well, that sucks. We really liked her. And so when I saw her come back in Buffy, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I was really, really pleased to see her. And now I'm like even more excited knowing that she's also a Slayer, because I feel like that just like, I'm so like, that must mean we're at least going to get a little bit more from her, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Like, we've talked about her, like I said earlier, because she was also in an episode of My So-Called Life. She was also in Sister Sister. She was in Dawson's Creek, of course. She was in Smart Guy. She was in The Secret Life of American Teenager.
Oh, God.
What else? The Witches of East End. This woman is like forever young. She has played a teenager for the majority of her life, and she still looks great, and it's incredibly impressive. It's like the female Paul Rudd, but I think she does it even better.
Well, okay. All right.
I do.
Let's calm down now.
No, I won't.
My God.
I think that she does it better.
Ugh.
I think that she ages less than Paul Rudd.
The audacity of you.
I will not be that way. She's incredible. But no, it's really, really cool. So she like comes out and she looks badass. And I do think that
I love her outfit.
Yeah, like her outfit's
pants.
really, really cool.
Mhm.
I do think that we were supposed to assume that she's evil, but
Right.
more on that later.
Yeah. And so the Scoobies and Giles are trying to figure out like what's up with this cross that Deloc had. And Giles says, yeah, it was used to like decipher hidden meetings and texts and blah blah blah. And Buffy equates it to a decoder ring. And yeah, so this is not great. Like they don't know what this necessarily means. They just know it's not going to be good. And so Giles is they're going to have a research party, and Willow is very excited about this. But of course, it's Tuesday, which means Buffy has plans at the ice skating rink with Angel. And so she gets out of research party with the help of Willow, because Willow is a great friend and just incredible because she only wants good things for Buffy.
Yeah. I do love that Buffy's like, look, like I need this break. I honestly do not help anyway. And like Xander's like, no, you help, blah, blah, blah.
You get us snacks. Bitch, she is the Slayer. Stop it. You stop it.
Like she doesn't want to be attached to the books at all times. So I love the fact that she's like, yeah, GTG. I do not want to be here. And she's skating along doing a very lovely job. And Cyclops comes and chokes her out. Then Angel comes and they're fighting.
Right
Kiki,
He's always right there.
Kiki. Well, because
they're
going on a date, you asshole.
All right. Well, this time they had plans, but he is always right there, and they don't always have plans.
Stop it. So they're doing their Kiki punchy. Of course, Angel wins because he's just incredible. And Drusilla like slowly turns over Cyclops's card, and she's like, oh no, I can't believe it. It sucks. And Spike is like, don't worry, we still have more time. We have other people to come. Don't worry. She's like, we're doomed.
She's really dramatic about the whole situation.
I can't believe it.
Nothing gets you hornier than a fight because Buffy and Angel just start making out.
Yeah.
And
this
Kendra
is also my other thing. He's like, don't do it. You can't kiss me like this.
Oh my god, you can't see me like this. Bitch, you have a minor cut on your face. Like, and
no, it's because he's in vamp face.
She's also seen that many times.
He's like, don't do it while
I'm
I look
so
like this.
ugly.
And she's like, I didn't even notice. And they have their
Bitch,
little kiss.
You noticed. We all noticed.
No, they didn't.
Ugly.
No. She kisses him with vamp face because they're in love.
Well, he's
so
gonna get vamp face
nice.
anyway. Remember when he gets horny, he turns into vampire face too.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Dick up, face out. But what's her name? Kendra.
Kendra is watching.
Kendra comes around and walks and is like, this is not good. This place is they're just filled with vampires and vampire fuckers. Everybody is out here.
Fuckers everywhere.
They're everywhere. This place called Sunnydale, California. It's just cursed. We would never do this in Jamaica.
Oh my god.
Is Jamaica me crazy. And that's the only time I'll make that joke. That's the only time I'll make that joke.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, they find a ring on Cyclops' hand, bring it to Giles, and Giles is like, oh no, this isn't good. He points out that this is the Order of Taraka. It's a society of deadly assassins, dating back to King Solomon. And what he ends up saying is that it's not just that like it's not, you can't just defeat one and then you're done. Like they're gonna keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until the job is done, until you're dead. And so he basically wants to put her in like a safe house and keep her out of harm's way.
He wants to Rapunzel her. He says,
yes,
Miss Ma'am, your hair is going to grow to the bottom of the tower, but at least you'll be safe. And she's like, no, you're Mother Gotham. And then he sings that annoying Mother Gotham song that everybody just skips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we see Maggot Man being a creeper. He's just sitting in the house of the next door neighbor with binoculars looking for Buffy, and suddenly his like arm reforms with all these maggots, and he just casually sips tea because he's nasty.
This is a big X for me. I say no. I will not look at this.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. This next scene is a little weird because like Buffy thinks that everyone's looking at her and going after her.
Well, because he says you won't know who the Order of the Turok is. Like you won't know who they are until it's too late. And so suddenly, Turaka, suddenly she just thinks everyone is a member of the Order of the Turaka. And Sarah, there was one person that she looked at that had me cracking up out loud.
I know exactly who it is.
Tell me who it is.
It's the guy with the comb that simultaneously turns his head towards Buffy and then combs his hair.
Why is he doing this? Why is he just combing his head?
It's just a vibe. It's very like Greasers from Grease.
Yes,
like
it's a Grease lightning.
It's,
go.
He Grease lightninged her.
I couldn't handle this. He's my favorite extra of all time. It's just so funny.
He ate the scenery. He said, I will be paid my $52.
Like, I won't be speaking in my role, but these actions will speak.
These will speak for me. People will remember me until all time. And Oz comes up kind of close behind her. And she like chokes him out and says, "Yeah, what did she say? Like, got it?" Or
she says, "Try it." And he says, "Try what?" She apologizes, and he's just like, "That is a tense person."
Yeah, very
not good.
Very tense.
Buffy doesn't feel safe going home because we didn't mention this earlier. Her mom's not home, so she's been staying home alone. So she obviously doesn't want to go back to her house, and so she leaves and she ends up at Angel's apartment.
She walks down the street like an absolute like hoodlum. She does. She looks like a hoodlum. Like her hair's a mess. Yeah. She's wearing clothes that are dirty and too big for her. Like, what is happening here? And she goes to Angel's apartment and just like hangs out. Now, I don't know if she got a key because like it's not
she just opened. She like basically broke the lock with her super strength.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Xander's trying to find Buffy by calling her, and they're not picking up. So everyone's worried about where Buffy is. Bitch can't get a freaking second of privacy around here.
Everyone's obsessed with her. She just wants to take a little nap on Angel's bed. He's not home.
He's like, I'm going to sniff your cushion.
Yeah, I knew she was going to sniff his pillow. Such a weirdo.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a lot of hair gel in his hair at all times, so it probably does smell.
Smells good. Angel loves art. He is an art curator.
He has a statue in a glass case, which I'm like, that has to be important because why else is he putting that in there?
Because of art. He values art. Yeah. But also, why does Angel even need a bed?
I mean, he sleeps during the day, doesn't he? You want to be uncomfortable on the floor? Yeah, they go in coffins and they sleep during the day.
But he doesn't have a coffin.
He doesn't want a coffin. He doesn't like vampires. He wants to sleep in a bed.
Am I thinking about Twilight again? I don't think Twilight vampires sleep.
Maybe not. At least he has red sheets. You know, that's on brand.
Yeah. Actually, this is like kind of nice little, I love like little cubby corners, and his bed is like in a corner and it looks very cozy.
Except if you have a guest, they don't have a side of the bed to get out on.
Oh, that is very like Bachelor. I'm going to put my bed at the side of the wall.
It is. At one point in my life, I was dating a guy who had a twin bed and it was up against the wall. Mm-hmm. And for two people, it was very uncomfortable. He elbowed me in the face once. It was awful. It was an accident. He rolled over while he was sleeping and smacked.
Did he still live at home? Like, why?
No, it was a whole situation. He had moved in with his sister temporarily, and it was her spare bedroom. It was a whole thing, but It wasn't pleasant.
All right. Well, that sounds like it sucks. Angel goes to this random bar, and there's this dude that's like, who is this dude? So basically, he is like a nightlife for the vamps guy.
He's a friend to the vamps, and so he knows the goings on because he's a bartender and bartenders know everything. He's obviously from New York because he basically says, "Hey, I'm walking here." Like,
about clothes, don't you know?
Don't you know? Come on, Tony just came in and he bought the place and then he left.
Can't you fucking read? The sign says we're closed. And then Angel's like, I just want to know what's going on. Do you know what's going on with Spike?
He threatens. He wants to know who sent the order of the Taraka.
Yeah.
And Willie claims he doesn't know, and he doesn't want Spike and Drusilla to like attack him. And Angel's like, listen, I'm gonna smash your head so hard against this bar top that you're not even gonna remember those two in a second. So you better freaking tell me. And yeah, it's basically like confirmed that it's Spike and Drusilla who ordered the order of Taraka.
Mm-hmm. What do you think that this man serves the vampires at his bar?
He said he has some new pig blood in, so he must get animal blood.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, their conversation gets interrupted because in comes Kendra, who she's trying to take down Angel. They're doing a lot of kicky punchy. She locks him in a cage and is like, well, sun's coming up soon. Sorry, see ya.
Not all businesses need sex cages. I'm just saying.
I don't know why so many of them have sex cages. It doesn't. The purpose of this one seems to hold like empty water jugs and crates, and so I don't know why that exists.
Is this like? Have you ever heard of the secret underground jail at Disneyland?
Oh, I think I have vaguely heard of this.
So it's like, is this when like the vamps act up and are like, we're gonna have to put you in the cage, you're in a timeout.
It's like in Matilda, we're gonna have to put you in the chokey.
Yeah,
but
you're going in the chokey. You've acted out. Yeah, Kendra locks him into the cage, and this is where I think I lost it, because this whole time, like, I know Bianca Lawson's voice. I've seen her play Maya. I've seen her play so many parts. When she came out with this accent, I was like, is this Jamaican? Is this French?
So bad.
Is it what is this? So Tom messaged me and was like, what did he say? Because like he had sent me a picture of like what her statement was regarding the accent, because apparently the accent was not like intentional. Okay. She never was intended, and I don't know what source this is from. I don't know. This is
from
looks
Tom.
like
Tom is our
Wikipedia.
source.
I know, but like besides that,
yeah,
never intended to have an accent. The addition of the quote unquote Jamaican accent to the character was a last minute decision, and a dialect coach was brought in, and he taught Lawson a dialect supposedly from a very specific obscure region of Jamaica, to which my response was, yeah, I do math off a very specific obscure way to do math. Like, you know, like it does not, 1 + 1 does not equal 2 here.
No, it's not great. And honestly, it really took away from the performance because I was so distracted by it that I was like, let me rewind and see what she said again. But she basically says like, he asks who she is, and she's like, I'm not going to tell you. You're not in the position to threaten me. And she says, well, you better get out quick because the sun's coming up in a few hours. And she basically insinuates she's going to go find Buffy. So Angel is pissed and he can't get out of the cage.
Yeah, he is no match for locks.
No. I mean, I feel like
I'm stumped. It's a lock.
I thought vampires had like super strength or something. Like, couldn't he use his super teeth to like just gnaw himself free?
His superpower is finding the power of depression when there's nothing to be
His superpower is being where he needs to be at all times because he always just shows up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Giles is doing some research, boring book work.
Yeah, and Xander calls him because he needs a ride. He wants to go check on Buffy. No one's heard from her. Willow fell asleep doing research, and when she gets woken up by Giles, apparently she has like some sort of fear of frogs, which I hope comes back into play because I think it's really funny.
Yeah. Are you afraid of frogs?
I love frogs.
Tadpole fears?
No, I really like frogs.
Okay, so like the only time that I don't like frogs is, and once again, swarms of frogs. Think hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Why would there
frogs.
be swarms of frogs?
Because when a tadpole is born, it's not like one tadpole. It's
sure, but there's
like
water.
500 tadpoles.
They don't even have
sometimes fucking frogs, they fuck in your pool, and then you have 600 frogs in your pool. It's true. I've seen it before.
I mean, I know.
What are you supposed to do with 600 frogs in your pool?
Release them into the wild.
That's a lot of work. I
mean,
did not choose to adopt frogs in
Put a
hundreds.
pool cover on. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I don't even have a pool, but I just know that this is a thing that could happen.
I mean, I grew up with a pond in my backyard and I would catch frogs all the time. I really loved frogs.
I don't want frogs. I
think they're cute. I don't know. They do their little hippity hops. They're cute.
I don't want to affiliate with frogs.
Okay.
Well, and you know what? I don't trust that Warner Brothers frog. He has a top hat and a cane.
Is the kind of like, hello, my darling, hello, my something.
Yeah. I don't trust him. I hope he got dissected.
Oh my gosh. Cruel. So cruel.
I kid.
So luckily Giles found out some information. He finds out that the missing transcript that they have is a ritual to restore a weak and sick vampire back to full health. And they both realize, yes, it's Drusilla.
They should just let her be. Let her feel better.
Yes, let the very, very powerful vampire feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because then we cut over to Drusilla's and they're like, basically Dalton has figured out the translation. He hands it over to Spike and they're like really excited. And Spike says, the key to your cure, ducks. He calls her ducks, which I think is very cute. I don't know why, but
hold up.
Yes.
The hater of pet names likes the pet name ducks.
I thought that it might have been like a Drusilla has almost the same letters as ducks and that there was something there, but maybe not. I want to know what the genesis of this, what the origin story is of this duck's nickname. He also calls her Kitten. I'm not a big fan of Kitten, but
because you hate cats because you're an ass.
Well, Kitten feels like almost like sweetheart to me in a way that I don't like, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So
let's say the missing link.
The missing link. And you know what the missing link is? And this makes so much sense because they said that it's under their nose the whole time. It's Angel.
It's
Angel's, of course, the person that's going to cure Drusilla. Yep. It makes so much sense.
They probably need his blood.
Or something. I don't know. She turns over the tarot card and it's an angel falling. This is what they need for Drusilla to be better, which is probably going to be the next arc of them going after not so much Buffy, but really after Angel.
Yeah. Yep. Not great, especially because Angel's locked in a cage right now. So he's pretty vulnerable and the sunlight is coming up.
Accessible. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Xander gets a ride from Cordelia to go check in on Buffy. Cordelia is not pleased with this. She says, what am I, mass transportation? And I like the line, what does she say? Oh my God. And maybe this is why they called the Scoobies. Because Xander says, come on, Cordelia, you want to be a member of the Scooby Gang. You got to be willing to be inconvenienced every now and then.
They've been saying Scooby Gang for a while now.
Oh, okay.
They're circling around the Scooby thing. We're all Scoobying.
Yeah. Cordelia is not happy. She's like, I don't want to be friends with you. This is really annoying. And so while Xander goes upstairs looking for Buffy, frickin' Norman, the blush salesman, comes on over, offers free samples to Cordelia, and she's like, free? Of course.
Yeah. She lets him into Buffy's house, and he's about to be taken over by maggots. It sucks.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Not great. Angel is still no match for a lock. He cannot get out. And escape. Buffy is taking a nice little slumber on Angel's pillow.
Yeah, up until Kendra comes in and she wakes up, and then we get a nice kicky punchy moment between the two of them. Very like well matched, which like only confirmed my suspicions that she was a Slayer when I'm like, okay, they have like very similar training. And she flips Buffy onto a coffee table. Like they're really having a kicky punchy moment.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Buffy says, so Kendra says, who are you? And Buffy's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're the one who attacked me. And Kendra says, I'm Kendra, the Vampire Slayer.
Cut to black, craziness.
TBC, to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. So I'm very excited to see. I hope that Kendra's accent gets better, because when she said cheek fight, I almost lost it. She was like, cheek fight? And I was like,
It's
no. Oh my God. Who is this freaking linguist that is training her?
That's awful. It's awful, but it's like the only bad part about this episode. I really like this episode. I'm really excited for part 2 and like learning more about Kendra. And I'm really, really happy, Sarah, that our suspicions were correct in that there is more than one Slayer in the world, because it wouldn't make sense if there were only one.
So is it by continent? Is Kendra, or like by sector? So like, let's call Buffy the North American. Is Kendra I don't remember. Is it like the islands? Is that part of South America? I'm not good with geography. Jamaica.
But either way, like, it feels like
a Caribbean island. Is it? Oh, it's still part of North America, but like it's different. Like, like she's not going to like the Caribbean island sector in the West Indies is not going to be under the same sector that like Buffy is. Maybe Buffy's like the West Coast Slayer. Like maybe there's like,
well, and it could be too that they're only like, she's only West Coast until she graduates, and then maybe she like gets to travel a bit more and do more across the United States in general.
But I think that there's probably hundreds.
You'd have to assume, right? Like, there's not just only vampires in Hellmouth. As much as it's Hellmouth and there's lots of bad things happening in Hellmouth at all times, it's not the only place that has vampires. So
does every country have one? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll find out. So yeah, that was What's My Line part 1.
Hold up.
Yes.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm the Vampire Slayer. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you, you guys.
I'm on the New York Slayer line, you know?
No.
I just took the taxi over here. I'm gonna punch you out.
Oh my
God. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And then like I do like a cool little like spinny kicky thing.
Yeah, incredible. 10
You're
out of 10.
dead.
I want to watch it so badly.
Yeah. All right, well,
but
we'll see.
We did get feedback from Melinda about this episode. Hey, Jess and Sarah. So happy you ladies finally made it to the Kendra the Vampire Slayer, aka Nikki Green.
Yeah, this is what got me tripped up. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Nikki Green.
Yeah. Such an awesome full circle moment. The WB really likes passing actors from show to show, as we saw recently with Jason Bear. Bear. There may be some more familiar faces coming up in future seasons, so be on the lookout. I'm very excited about that. So excited for you guys to finally meet Kendra and see what her arrival means for Sunnydale. And Linda wanted to give us a heads up that last week we were talking about goo that slid under doors, and Linda thinks you were talking about the secret world of Alex Mack.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, Linda. And I'm really excited to learn more about Kendra. I feel like it's long overdue for Buffy to have someone to relate to about being a Slayer and kind of like having the world's burdens on your shoulder at such a young age. And I'm really excited. I hope that her and Kendra can, not fight and work things out. And maybe they can do some. What if they stand back to back and do like some cool martial arts stuff against vampires
I can
together?
See that. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like that she's probably here for the long haul. I would assume.
I think she might be someone who's like comes in and out of the show.
Yeah, I agree. I totally
think that
agree
would be
with
fun.
That. Yeah,
I hope so. At least
she has to go back to her sector.
Exactly.
Like
everyone needs to stay in their sector.
She's only here for a little bit, and then she has to go back and deal with her own area.
Yeah, she's here for a good time, not a long time.
Sure.
Just for this season.
Yeah, and I hope that they can make their union. They can work on doing the union.
Yes.
No, hold up. She's gonna be like, this is why working in America sucks, because I get 2 years of maternity leave.
Call it out. Yes.
She's like, what? You don't get free healthcare?
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what we have in store for us next episode. Of course, we're not going to be alone. We're going to be joined by the one, the only Todd the librarian. So I'm really excited because you know what? We're talking about a really sacred text, a really sacred book. So we're going to need some librarian skills.
Oh my gosh, please. Because I tried. Now, I think that I found out that like, if we get stories about individuals, thumbs up. If we get stories about old crusty books and shiny crosses, asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Yeah.
It's the lore can be troubling sometimes.
I'm an interpersonal person. This is why I'm a blue and you're a yellow.
I thought it was a red.
No, you're a yellow, but you're like a red rising, if you get it. If you get it.
Some kind of an orange.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I think that's it for this week. That's all the feedback we have. If you want to send in feedback, shit90spod on Twitter and Instagram, shit90spod.com. We also have a Gmail, shit90spod@gmail.com. In the meantime, of course, we also put out Felicity podcasts every week. You can also find me on Talkin' Shit, where Stuart and I are wrapping up season 1 of Schitt's Creek, which is super exciting. And Sarah and I are talking about Pretty Little Liars Summer School over on Whirlwind Podcasts, which has been really fun, despite the fact that it feels more horror-y than Pretty Little Liars-y. I think we're still having a really fun time covering it.
Yeah, I agree. Whirlwind has so much that you can watch or listen to, rather. We cover Veronica Mars, Doctor Who, Pushing Daisies through One Indescribable Podcast, which you will be on in a coming episode. Everybody ditched you and Lindy, and it was just like 2 gals on the go.
It was so fun. We had a takeover. It was a great time.
Yeah. We also cover Tuning In like with different cartoons. So today we just released an episode on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Which one are you?
Which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle am I?
Yeah.
I'm Raphael.
How do you know that?
Because I'm a Raphael.
Okay. I'm a Donatello. I don't know. I don't know which ones are which.
Leonardo, I think, is the blue one, and he's the one that like everyone loves. Raphael is a little more brash and like rough around the edges, but he gets shit done. Okay. One of them likes machines, and one of them is a party dude, and I don't remember the other ones. I think it's Michelangelo. One of them.
One of them. I think that they all like pizza.
They all love pizza. They all say cowabunga. Yeah.
Cowabunga. Maybe I need to listen to Tuning In with Todd and Tommy because they're doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like basic 101.
Oh, so, fun. Okay.
Yeah, I need to take that apparently if I don't know my turtles. What else? What else we have going on? So much stuff. Just check out what we're up to on Whirlwind Pods on Twitter and Instagram. You and I are covering Sliding Doors this month as a bonus episode that will be out, I think, this weekend.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be out on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. That's it.
That is everything. So until next week, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.